Hi Ubies, hope you're all doing well. I haven't posted video for a while because basically I haven't been doing anything in the garden. Here in New South Wales we've been hammered by torrential rain. We've had weeks and weeks and weeks of it. Parts of the state are flooded. We've been pretty lucky here in Newcastle, although a lot of rain. Water levels haven't really risen in our area, but there's been a lot of rain and everything is just soggy and waterlogged and dying and manky and horrible. And so I haven't been out here for weeks. The weeds are everywhere. Everything's just a mess. There's stuff everywhere. So I'm going to take you for a little walk around the garden to show you the state of things. I'm also in the middle of a renovation, doing a bathroom, so we have piles of garbage everywhere. Everything's pulled out from inside the house and I just feel like there's stuff everywhere. So hopefully that renovation's nearly finished and I can start to put everything back in place, do a run to the tip and start to pull out all the old mushy summer plants that have just died on me. So let's have a look. I did start some seeds and some of them have done okay. I've got sweet pea have all come up. There's some cucumber. Got a whole heap of seeds that have never sprouted, and I think it's just because the rain, we haven't had any sun, and they could be old seeds as well. I just sort of had a whole heap of seeds left over that I thought I'd just chuck in to see what would come up. Some things haven't. In here I've got some strawberries that I just potted up from runners. I've just kept them in here to basically keep the bugs off them. Everything in the garden has been eaten. Got caterpillar moth everywhere. There's fungus on everything. My beetroot looked terrible. Basil's munched on. Little lemon tree. Oh, it's actually got some lemons on it. All these old tomato plants have come to an end. The lemon balm's doing all right. I've got some flowers happening. Hopefully they'll grow up that trellis. This garden here is miserable because the dog has dug it up like about 10 times. I have to deal with this quince. It's just not loving life in this pot, and it's got some old flowers around the bottom I've got to pull out. So I'm going to pot that up into a new pot, a bigger one. The echinacea, on the other hand, seem to like the weather, the steamy humidity, and they're actually doing all right. I had cucumbers growing on this little trellis and I've had to pull them all out because the vine was turning up its toes. Blueberry has got lots of growth on it this summer, which is really nice because it did nothing for a long time. I've got a crab apple there in a pot that I've got to plant. I've pulled out a whole heap of stuff from here, a couple of cucumbers, a tiny little tomato plant. Tidy up all these garden beds. I think this is a nectarine and it's not loving life, so I'm going to have to pot it up in a bigger pot this weekend and give it some fertilizer. It's just about ready to cark it if I don't give it some attention. The strawberry patch, well, what can I say? It's just too wet for strawberries. They're absolutely swimming in water. I've got a orange mandarin, I think that is. It's got a bit of leaf curl that I'm going to have to manage. You see all that leaf curl? I have to get stuck into that and give it some fertilizer. I've pulled out the old zucchini and chucked down some comfrey. One thing that is doing well is my rosella. So here's a look at the rosella plant. It's got loads and loads of flowers on it, so hopefully it'll do all right and I'll be able to make some jam. I've got a fig in a pot and the figs have been delicious. There's one there ripening up. Finally got a bit of sun. I've got a eggplant growing in a bucket. See how that goes. Now this is the mess. This is the result of the renovation. Everything in my house is basically just pulled out of the house and dumped. There's a bathtub there, a washer, a dryer. Over here is one of the piles of garbage, and all my grass is just dead from being trampled. There's a new door. You can just see everything's really messy, really boggy, soggy. The grass has been dug up. It's all dying and very, very sad. It's messy. I don't even know what's in here. God knows what's growing in here. I think that's a cucamelon vine with an old dying tomato in there somewhere. Looks like a climbing spinach. Oh, there's little tomatoes still there. So, oh, there's the cucamelons. Oh, there we go, cucamelons. But that is a jungle. There's a jungle in there. There's a jungle over here. You can see where the dogs have been digging. Got some zinnias I need to plant. I need to dig up the weeds. This is where I dug out those banana plants, which I seem to got some suckers growing back, so I have to deal with them. And up around here is also a mess. I need to weed, I need to prune, I need to dig out the old plants. There's more rosella up around here. All these tomato plants have fallen over in all the rain. That is all basil going to seed and a lemongrass growing crazy over the back. I've got some raspberries happening here. And basically, I've got a lot of work to do this weekend. So, it's going to be interesting. I've got a bathtub here full of manky water that I need to empty. Anyway, that's a lot of work to do. See how far I get. Look, I've got a raspberry. One. Okay, so I've tidied this bed up. What I found was the beetroot I had in there was just turning to mush because this whole bed was so waterlogged. Our native soil is clay, so once that dried out, that would have set like rock. So I had to dig everything out. I've just left the chives in the corners. I've had to dig over the soil and dig that lucerne that I had on the top through to just try and aerate things a little bit. It was so muddy in there, I didn't think anything would ever grow. So I've cleaned it up and I've topped it off with some who flung dung, which is awesome stuff. But Doggo really loves it. She likes to eat it. I've had to put the covers on to keep Doggo out because she will eat that. In a couple of days it stops stinking and she loses interest. So I just put the mesh nets on until it doesn't smell anymore. Just look at that. That is sun. We haven't seen the sun in weeks. I'm just standing here enjoying it. Middle of summer and we haven't seen the sun. All we've seen is rain. So nice. Okay, I've spent 2 days cleaning this up. I repotted the old nectarine because it was in this tiny little pot where it had lived for the last 4 years. So I've put it in a decent pot with some potty mix and I've planted a cute little flower there. I've pulled all the rubbish out of this bed, removed the old little trellis I had there, and in has gone some sweet peas that I've grown from seed. So it's nearly St. Patrick's Day, so it was about time they went in. I tend to put a bit of comfrey in all the corners of my garden bed because it's really good for mulch. I've cleaned up this bed a bit. There's the echinacea looking great. Pulled out some pots that were just sitting around with random stuff in it. There's the blueberry. I don't think I want to leave it there, it gets too much heat. I've cleaned out this bed, and it's got a secret living inside of it right at this very moment. Do you want to know the secret? Garlic. I've planted garlic, so hopefully that will grow and not be dug up. Out, get out of it. Repotted the lemon tree and given it some new potting mix and some fertilizer, and I pulled everything out of here. What I found with all the rain was the native clay soil in there was just like concrete, or like wet clay anyway, and when it dries out it just sets like concrete. So what I had to do was pull everything out. I had to dig the soil over, and I dug in all the old lucerne, so hopefully that will aerate the soil a little bit. So I'm not going to put beetroot back in there because there's just too much clay in these beds. This bed wasn't such a problem. Get out of the garden. She keeps eating my compost. I put some more dirt in here that the dogs dug up, and basically did a bit of a tidy up. Mowed the lawn. The lawn is looking atrocious from all the rain. It's just about killed it. All of the construction has just about killed it over here where all the tradies have been working. And look, the pile of rubbish is gone. Did a tip run. So I'm feeling a little bit better. There's still piles of stuff everywhere until the renovation gets finished. But basically it's looking a bit tidier. I've got these cages ready to go on top of the garden beds. So that's it for me for the weekend. I'm done. Bye.